It is an absolutely spectacular day today. And on a day like today, it's very difficult to find the motivation to stay inside and study. And I know why. Let me explain. There is a hell in hello, a good in goodbye, a lie in believe, an over in lover, an end in friend, and an if in life. But also, there is dying in studying. Hello and welcome to Canguro English. I'm Christian, and today I'm going to be teaching you about corpora. So imagine that you are reading a book and you see a word or a phrase that you don't know. For example, kudos. Now, you want to know what it means, so you go and get your dictionary. Okay, kudos. Praise and honor received for an achievement. Perfect. So now I know what the word means. But what if I want to know how to use the word? For example, is it a formal or an informal word? Is it an old word or a new word? Is it popular? And where? Is it common in British English or American English? And what other words go together with this word? Now, answers to questions like these you can't find in the dictionary. You could go and ask your English friend or ask your English teacher, but then this introduces the problem of bias. Bias is when a person's feelings or opinions influence their answer. So maybe what they tell you is not the truth. So to answer questions like this in an objective way, we need to use corpora. Corpora are huge collections of words, collected from books, from magazines, from academic journals, and also from speech. And all of this text is compiled together into a database, and people like you and me, we can search this information and we can find out some really interesting things. So today I'm going to show you 3 corpora tools that you can use to help you understand how, why, and when to use new vocabulary. So to use these tools, all you need is access to the internet, okay? Because they are all totally free. I have included the links to all of them down in the description box, okay? So the first one we're going to look at is the Google Books viewer. Now basically, Google has scanned millions of books. And the most interesting thing is that they are books as old as the year 1500. So this is fantastic for seeing how English has changed over time and how words have increased and decreased in popularity. So for example, let's have a look at a word like marvelous, okay? So what we do is at the top here we type in marvelous, and I recommend checking the case insensitive box, which means that it doesn't matter if it's at the beginning of a sentence, in the middle, at the end, okay? And the years between 1500 and 2008, and then we click search. Now, here we have this beautiful chart which shows us the history of the word marvelous. And we can see that it was really popular during the 1600s, up and down in popularity. And then again, it became popular towards the end of the 1800s. But recently, it has declined a lot. So we could say that this word isn't that popular. And we could compare it against a similar adjective, maybe like fantastic. So it's very easy. I just put a comma, and then I type in fantastic, and then I click, and I can see that in the past, marvelous was much more popular than fantastic. But now, in 2008, we can see that fantastic is more popular than marvelous. So the Google viewer is fantastic for seeing long-term changes in English, okay? And it's really easy to use. Also, you can use it to compare phrases. So what if you're not sure whether to say if I was or if I were? So again, we type if I was or if I were with a comma between the two. Search books, and wow, so now I can see that in the 1900s, if I were was a lot more popular than if I was. A big difference. But now, there is only a little difference between if I were and if I was. And if I was has increased dramatically in popularity in the last 50 years. So now I understand better which phrase I should use and why. The only problem is that it's only books, so it doesn't show us how people speak. And that's why we need tool number 2. The next website has various different corpora, but the two that are interesting to us is COCA, the Corpus of Contemporary American English, and the British National Corpus, the BNC. And this tool is a little bit more complicated, a little bit more academic, but it gives us a lot of really good detail, okay? So if I click here on the British National Corpus, you can see at the top I have some options. I have list, chart, collocates, and compare, and also quick, okay? So chart shows us how a word is used in various places. Is it more popular in magazines, or in speech, or in academic text? So let's look at a word like earth. Earth. So I type in earth, I choose chart, and then I press frequency by section. And now I can see that it's very popular in fiction. The most popular category is fiction. In newspapers, not so much. It's also very popular in non-academic texts. And speaking, well, speaking in newspapers, not a lot. It's very interesting. Now, if we go back to the search, I can look at collocates. Collocates shows us which words commonly go together with earth. So I can click on Find Collocates, and wow, so the number 1 collocate for earth is friends. Friends of the earth. Then surface, heaven, sun, etc. It shows us a lot of different words, okay? Now, if we go back again, we can use the final option, which is quick, okay? And this shows us the word in context, how it's used in a sentence. So here I can see the word earth being used in the text in the corpus. And on the left it tells me where it's from, what type of material it's from. But something really useful about this is I can use it to compare two words that I think are similar, but I'm not sure exactly how to use them. So for example, if I click compare and I put a word like admit, and another word like confess, and then if I compare the words, so I can see that admit is used with defeat or evidence, prepared people, but confess is used more with sins and name and crimes and secrets. So it gives me an idea about in what context I should use these words. So the final tool I think is the most fun, and this is the Great American Wordmapper, okay? So basically some researchers pulled together millions of tweets from Twitter, okay? And tweets on Twitter have geotagging, which means you know exactly where the tweets were sent. So what it means is that you can put in a word and it tells you exactly where in America this word is most popular. So it's really fascinating to see the differences in vocabulary. So for example, let's look at a new word like fleek. Okay? Fleek means stylish, really good, really good. And if I click on the map button, I can see that in some parts of the US it's not really used at all. And in other parts it's really very popular. And if I click here on hotspots, I can see, wow, in the southwest of America, super popular. And also on the east coast. But up in the north of America, nothing really. So let's look at another word like sus. Sus means something that's suspicious, something that's suspect. So if I type in sus and press map, then wow, I can see that on the west coast of America, and there's sort of like a hot spot in the center, really popular. But over on the east coast and in the sort of the northeast, it's not really used at all. Well, I hope that you found that really interesting. And now you can go and play with these new tools and see how English is changing and evolving, and learn how to use your new vocabulary. I think it's really exciting. If you would like to see any more classes about the English language, then don't forget to subscribe. I'm Christian, this is Canguro English. I'll see you in class.